that being said, Trap Talk listeners, if you love everything about Trap Talk, please subscribe to our page. Also, throw some likes on the videos that you enjoy. It really means the world to us.
Yeah, comment on each episode. We read them. We respond to them. With that, let's get to the show.
Welcome back to another episode of Trap Talk from the Back Fence. I'm your host, Zach Danini, and I am here with my co-host, Richard Marshall Jr., the one and only, the man in red, Craig off hat, got the Trap Talk shirt. He's looking good. We're not at the Grand Studio, folks. We're in the Riverside, and we are doing the Ring Series. And the first interviewee is Mr. Ryan Glow out of Nebraska. Welcome to the show, Ryan.
How we doing, guys?
You know, it's a good night. I mean, Rick, we've had Ryan on before, and he's good friends of yours. You guys shoot sporting clays. I mean, give the people a little introduction to Ryan if they haven't watched the show before, just so they can know who we're dealing with.
Well, Ryan's a multi-time All-American, state champion, now world champion. There's two of us here, Ryan, with that title.
See, folks, he's always got to throw a dig in. He's throwing them digs in.
You gotta rub it in.
Yeah, he's got to get them in. But hey, my time will come.
You know what? I will say this: Zach did win the all around at the Heartland Grand. You know, he got me by one. Shot really good. We were on the same squad. Justin said, should hit the mic or something, but no.
I was happy to finally do that because in the doubles, me and Ricky were going in the last post straight, and we broke the first 90, and everybody behind us was watching like, these guys are going to bust him. And he goes ahead and breaks his 100 in doubles, and I missed the 98th bird. And he's like, oh, you should not have done that. Kind of like Leo.
You should not have done that. We never shaken you, but so Ryan is, I've known Ryan since high school, I guess, since you were in high school.
Yep.
Ryan did a little class with me. I think, was it your senior year? You did?
Yeah.
Or was it right out?
Yeah, probably 2012, because it was some handicap help once I got back to the 27.
27, yeah. And, he's got a lot of talent, as you guys already know. But, last year, Ryan finished third on the All-American team. Probably could have been captain, but, we talked about that issue with, his boss. He had to go to a wedding, which is understandable. It all worked out for him. Now he's got a great job and got to travel all summer long and shoot. And
well, last year, Ryan, I mean, we talked about this on the show, but you were in the clay target last year, which was a huge accomplishment, right? And you ran 200 and then ran another 200 in the shoot off. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes.
Or did you only go one night?
Yeah, I just went to one night, 200 Thursday night. I ran the 200 and then shot the.
Then you had to leave.
Then he had to leave on Friday. So, I mean, technically, folks, I mean, I know we talked about this, but if you missed the Ryan Glow episode, go back and check it out. But, he was in the clay target, which obviously, even though you ran 200 more, that's far from being done, right? I mean, that could have been 700. They went 700. So, I mean, I don't know if you could make it that long, Ryan, but maybe. But
well, hey, he can. I will tell you, now last year, you broke 99 in the doubles last year, didn't you? You were only down one.
I left with a 299 in the all around when I left.
Yeah, because I said if he could stay and shoot, probably going to break a 99 or 100 in the handicap. But of course, you had to go, which is understandable. This year, shot really good. Wisconsin State shoot, the singles championship come down to me and Ryan after, what we shoot like
375 for the singles. Then we shot some.
Yeah, but we brought, what was it, 125 with 17 turns on the spring and never missed. And
it was 17 turns, it was probably 21 turns. I mean, let's be honest.
No, it was the maxed out. Whatever a Pat Trap will max out at.
They told us
what they said. Yeah, and we shot, and then we jumped in the truck and headed to Iowa State shoot. Him and Wyatt and me and Tyler hooked up. Boom, we were down there at 1:30 in the morning and got set up and then shot Iowa and such. And then, coming into the Grand, though, and let's get to that part, Zach. How'd you feel going into the Grand?
I was a little nervous. I had a good start to our season. The shooting season started in Missouri. shot pretty well down there. Excuse me, I started in Tucson, won the got runner up in the all around the prelim, and then shot decent throughout the week. Got to Missouri, shot pretty well there. Was happy with it. And then throughout the year, I just felt like I was maybe trying too hard. I was worried about points. I was worried about making the team again. Worried about last year almost. So this year I was shooting. Once I got to the Grand, I'm like, you just need to settle down. Just need to shoot. There was a little extra pressure because of last year when I left. I really wanted to shoot well, improve myself again, that I can still shoot well at the Grand and handle that pressure that you get at the Grand.
Yeah, because I mean, most people don't forfeit when there's rings on the line, right? So, I mean, just looking at that in my mind, where you were last year, where you were last year going into this year, that had to be on the top of your mind, because I know everybody was giving you jokes like, well, that could have been the only chance for a ring right there, right? And then you kind of are carrying that with you all year long, and then going into that event and saying, okay, I'm going to prove these guys wrong. I mean, there had to be a little of that, right?
There was. It was a lot of that where it was, okay, everybody's giving me crap all year. Was there a little regret? Yes. I'm not saying I regret it at all, completely, because of where it got me, the job I've got now, the freedom I have now. So I'm glad that I made the right decision. But yes, there was a little regret in the back of my mind all year round, saying, okay, I left 200 straight from the singles championship. I left with a 299, and I've been shooting great handicaps all week. Like my lowest handicap all 2 weeks at the Grand was a 96. So I was shooting handicaps very well. And so I did have that kind of feeling of, well, shoot, was that my only chance? So going into this year, I really focused going into the Grand and wanted to just shoot the targets, not worry about points, not worry about scores, and just shoot my targets. I struggled a little bit on the handicap going in to start, but
now with that being said, Ryan, focusing on the targets, was there a specific ring that you had in mind when you went to the Grand, or did you just not even think about rings and say, I'm just going to shoot?
There was no specific ring in mind. I just wanted to shoot. The way I looked at it is there's 5 of them. If I can get, if I can just keep myself together, and okay, if I didn't shoot well in the singles event, okay, there's the doubles, or there's the overall, there's the all around, So I really didn't have one particular in mind saying, okay, I left the singles, I have to win the singles. It was more so of, I left a couple on the table, so let's try to at least be in the contention for a couple of them again this year. Was my mindset.
All right, folks, we got to take a quick second and give a huge shout out to our title sponsor, Craigoff. Me and Ricky both shoot him. We both love him.
Yeah, best gun in the industry. I shoot them. I sell them. Nothing better, folks. Get yourself a Craigoff. Your scores will increase.
Yeah, I mean, Ricky's got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds with his. I mean, I've got a few hundreds, but I'm always working to get a little bit better, and they definitely help me, that's for sure. So on top of that, we also got to thank Winnig. I'm wearing the shirt today. Love this shirt. If you're down at the Grand, pick one up.
Yeah, Winnig, like I said, Zach, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds with my Winnig stock. Get a hold of Bobby, Luke, Bill, get an appointment set up. They will make you a better shooter with that Winnig stock.
Of course, yeah, the Grand's the great place to do it. Give them a call, get on their book. It's worth your time.
Just remember, winners shoot Winnigs.
With that being said,
let's get back to the show. Yeah, because you were in the singles. You broke 200 again. You lasted through the first night, breaking 200. Then the next day, you break 100 in the doubles championship.
Yes. That was pretty nervous. Especially my last pair. Come out, and as everybody knows, it was a little windy that morning. Last pair comes out, target went a little high, broke it in half, and not sure how I broke it, but I did. And then the nerves released, but there's definitely some nerves there to break a 300. Also give myself another chance. After that, I had a feeling or an idea that I was also leading the overall. but I didn't want to look because I didn't need one more thing on top of everything. I had a good idea of where I was sitting, but I didn't look going into those handicaps that Friday afternoon. So
now, does that bother you to know the scores? I know we talked a little bit about that this year at Iowa when I mentioned something. So
yeah, I don't know if it's so much. I already have a problem mainly shooting handicap, where I'm keeping a score in my head. So so it's more so on a handicap score, because singles and doubles, you already know you have to break them. No matter where you're at, you know you have to break a 200, you have to break the 100 in the doubles if you want to win anything. Handicap, okay, depending upon the day, 7, 8, 9 is a great score any time. But yeah, definitely in the handicap, I drop one, okay, 99 will be okay. I'll drop another. 98 will be okay. Just keep it. Then 97. Before you know it, you're thinking of the score that somebody else broke, and now you're tied at the end of the day because you kept adding the score in your head. So yeah, sometimes
it happens.
I just need to block out the scores. So I try not to look at the overalls. I will at a state shoot maybe just to see where I'm at. Say, okay, this guy's got me by a couple targets. And have a general idea of where I'm at, but I don't like to sit there and follow it event by event by event.
Well, the problem is, in my mind, and I've experienced this, is I always feel like the guy's got a better chance when he's 1 or 2 out of the top. Because when you're out in front and you're out in front, you're thinking about who's behind you, and you're like, oh, well, if I don't miss 2 or 3, I've got this thing won. And then pretty soon I feel like you're getting more conservative, where if you're a bird or 2 behind going into that event, you got to come for that other guy and you got to bring it. So, I mean, that's what I've always seen, at least be successful for a lot of the top shooters. But it's kind of hard to say, oh, I'm behind when I'm 300 straight, right? Like that's a different that's a different thing in itself.
I'm lacking a little bit. I need to step up my game.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's
kind of how I went into Saturday. Was I knew there was 2 300s, myself and Dave. So I had that knowing that, it in all around it's hard not to know that you're leading, especially with a 300 straight. You're obviously leading. So yes,
you're not losing, right?
No.
And then going into that last 100 against Dagan 300 straight, I'd be thinking, yeah, I'm coming from behind, even if I'm 300 straight. Like, but I mean, that's just because he's Dagan, right? I mean, he's incredible.
The way I was shooting my handicaps this year at the Grand, just this year in general, I hadn't had a ton of big scores. I knew what I had to do. I just was having trouble doing it this year, getting into that mindset and just slowing down and shooting my targets, shooting my pace. But Saturday, I really just set myself up going out there saying, you know what you need to do. Don't worry about anybody else's scores. Don't worry about anybody else's shooting. You're going to worry about your shooting. Yep. And Dagan actually happened to be, we've been shooting on the same bank all week. But he happened to be 2 squads ahead of us. So he's ahead of us all day long as we're shooting. He's walking off the trap and we're walking up, right behind them. And so it was one of those deals where I just had to keep to myself, not look over to the right and look down the line and see, they got done before we did, obviously. And it was one of those deals I didn't want to look at the squad to see how they reacted. I didn't want to look at Dagan to see how he reacted. I just kind of kept my eyes focused and said, because we were sitting in the carts when they walked off the line. And
because if they're giving him high fives, then it wasn't no 96.
Correct. Yeah. If they're shaking his hand, I'm like,
it's this year.
Yeah. And at this point, I'm only down. I was down 1 target going into the last box. So I was feeling great about the handicap that day, but I just knew that, hey, don't focus on that, because if I see something like that, it's going to cause me to start counting targets.
All right, folks, we got to take another quick break and thank some more sponsors. Shot Tracker. I mean, we've had great success with them. Ricky, you've been involved since day one, so
it's like having a coacher on the end of your barrel. It's a great tool, especially for doubles. That's what I really like it for. You can see the transition moving from the first target to the second target. That's where a lot of people get lost in no man's land, losing that target.
I love that, and I also love the new software update, the stuff that's coming down the pipe. Those guys are constantly innovating. So with that being said,
let's get back to the show.
So did you go 24, 25, 25, or how did you start that handicap that day?
I started that handicap with a 25, which really set me off good because I think there was maybe one handicap all week that I had started with a 25. I was having troubles finishing handicaps. I was breaking 24s pretty consistently all week with a bad box in there. A lot of my handicap scores were 24, 25, 21, 24, things like that. So I broke 25, gave me some pretty good confidence that day.
The momentum.
Yes. Yep. And that second box, there was one of those sweat bees. Everybody deals with them. Moved over to a left-handed target, and he was right in my face, and kind of my eyes went right to him and lost it. And I just said, you just need to focus on the rest of them. That wasn't your fault. Nothing you could have done about it. Just kind of a deal where he came right in my face at the same exact time. So just kept shooting.
Bad deal.
Yeah. And then ran the third box. And then when we went to the last trap, they were a little taller than the other three. And we shot them and had a couple of them skyrocket. And instead of just watching targets, I was kind of trying to anticipate, and I knew I shouldn't have, and missed one, and then continued on. The wind died down and continued to shoot, and then actually got to my last post, down 2 targets. Break the first 3. That 4th target comes out, and I had seen Jack Knaus's target come out of the house a little high, and so I watched mine go high, and I made a terrible move to it because I wanted to try to break it before it started climbing too fast. Yep. So I tried to break it too quick, missed it, and right there my head went to, I probably just lost. But I knew
if not lost, if you didn't lose, you drew the tie in your mind, really.
Correct. Yep. In my mind, I go, I either just lost or I tied, but you need to break that last target, so just reset. So that whole time, the other 4 shooters shooting, I just kind of kept resetting myself. Said, don't worry about where the target goes, how high it goes. Make sure you see it. Go ahead and break it. Just kind of talking myself through that kind of stuff. So finally, once that last target came out, broke it. Jack Knaus had happened to talk to the squad without me knowing. Luckily, he snuck over there, found out how Hagen shot. Oh yeah, he looked at me and immediately he said congratulations, and I said, it was one of those deals where it was hard to tell because there was a couple other people that still needed scores to come in.
Yeah.
But he had already known, Dagan was the only other one with a 300, and he was the one I was really trying to beat there in my eyes. There was a couple 299s that, like I said, hadn't come in yet. So we were worried about those as well. So
what did he end up having? I don't remember.
396.
396. Yep. So
that one bird.
Yeah, that one bird. And my last target out, I cracked it in half. And I remember Jack looking over at me and just start smiling. And then once we got done, he said Dagan had a 96. And
you hit it hard.
What's that?
I said you hit it hard.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know. I would tend to bet, based on what I heard from Ryan's squad, that Dagan might have hit his last bird a little harder than Ryan did.
I can almost guarantee it.
He put a big old stamp on that thing! Exclamation point! And Ryan, he got a couple fringe breaks, but hey, that fringe, fringe break, not the break, baby.
So it don't matter how hard you hit them.
Exactly.
They don't matter. You got one more than everybody else. Now, was there a lot of 396s, or was it just Dagan?
There was 2 or 3. Yeah, 2.
2, if I remember right.
2 or 3, but
yeah.
But yeah, I think there was. Yeah. So yeah, it was.
And that's that's fantastic. Is that your highest tile around, a 397, or have you done better than that?
I had a 398 in Iowa the year before. I went 199 in the singles, 100 in the doubles, 99 in the handicap.
Yep. And that's fantastic shooting. Most people in my mind, unless they're of the greats, I mean, they're not shooting 397, 398, 399 ever in their lifetime. I mean, that's a pretty impressive score.
I was, when I walked off with a 397, like I said, I wasn't sure because there was some scores to come in, but a 397, no matter where you go, is usually going to be a good score. So I was happy with that. There was 3 of them. Okay.
Logan Henry, who won the doubles.
Yep.
Who we'll have on. Dagan, Leo Brand, who won the clay target and the Grand American Handicap.
Yeah.
And then Lamont had the lone 395.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that was all the guys that were in the mix. I mean, most of those guys got rings. All of them, right? Pat got a ring.
Yep.
You got a ring. Leo got a ring. And Henry got a ring. So, I mean, that's pretty much everyone we're going to have on.
Yeah.
And, it's just what's amazing to me in this sport is we do it every single year. We keep coming back. And at the end of the day, it always comes down to that last 5 shots. Like right then and there, you got the singles done. Okay, great job. Right? Leg 1. You got the doubles done. Okay, great job. But to be able to get that handicap done after you did the singles and after you did the doubles, it's a world apart. And like, how many times has you shot great singles and great doubles going into the all around, and then you tank it with a 94 in the handicap, and you did, or even worse than that, honestly. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, man, I just had a 390 the hard way, right? And it happens, but to have all 3 games, all 3 guns going at once, not many people can do that. Not many people can shoot all 3 disciplines at a very high level in a week. All right, guys, we got to take another quick break and thank some more sponsors. We got to say big thank you to White Flyer, America's best targets. You make them, we break them, right, Rick?
That's right. We got the new Eco flyer that we helped design, myself and Sean Hawley. That's out now, available out of the Georgia factory. That's an awesome target. Look for that. Going to be available hopefully everywhere by 2025. But yeah, they are best target in the industry.
I'm looking forward to the Blue-Gray Shootout this year at the Grand too. That's going to be a fun event.
Yeah, you're in that too this year, aren't you, Zach?
We both are, aren't we?
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm in it. I didn't know if you made it or not.
See, yeah, that's okay. I skated right in there. Don't you worry. But we got another sponsor we got to thank.
Yep.
Shotguns West, the Pulas, baby. Check out these wings. Ricky don't got these. He ain't that stylish.
Oh, folks, listen. Zach tries to wear these driving down the road, doing podcasts. It's okay. We still love you.
When you look good, you don't have to apologize. Remember that. Not only can you hit more targets, but you could look good doing it. Give Ryan a call.
That's right.
With that being said,
let's get back to the show.
I had been struggling on the handicap, and so I think I had a 7. Either early grand, I did. It was early in the grand week, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. But that was my highest at the grand yet. Everything else was 4s all week. I was stuck on 94. And so it was one of those things, like I said, I had to go out there with a different mentality than I had been all year and just remember to shoot my game.
I'm sure our listeners are going to give you a lot of sympathy with those 94s that you were shooting. So we're sorry that you were struggling.
You broke a 94.
Struggling so hard over there, Mr. Ring Winner. I mean,
at the grand, that is struggling handicap. I mean, heck, you guys saw. Everybody's seen the scores this year. It's
there was a lot of good scores.
That what was that one day? There was 5 or 600s.
5. Yeah. I think there was 5. Yeah, like. Maybe add a couple more turns.
27. So it's
yeah. They were blowing those things up. They're just like, these aren't. If those were hard targets, those guys didn't know it because they were just smacking them.
Yeah, that's a fact. So, Glow, what do you feel? I mean, what's your next steps now? I mean, you got some bigger goals set for the 2025 target year, which is started as of 2 days ago.
Yes. Yeah, 2 days ago. I still have a goal. I still have yet to complete my Grand Slam. So that is still one of my goals, to complete my Grand Slam. As for anything else, more so just going to shoots that I haven't before, or maybe picking and choosing shoots that I really enjoy. I'll still travel.
I agree with you.
I'll still shoot quite a bit, but this year it seemed like the schedules with the leap year and some shoots, some states moving their state shoots, there was a lot of back-to-back shoots, back-to-back shoots. For me, that's hard to do with work. It's hard to deal with work.
As for most people.
Yeah, and like Rick knows, we left Wisconsin at 8:00. We got to Iowa at 1:30 in the morning. I had to run home.
You got at 4 and you were out there at 7.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I woke up early in the morning, drove back home 4 hours, worked Monday, Tuesday, and then left Tuesday night to come back to shoot. It wore on me. I mean, I didn't shoot great at Iowa. I mean, I didn't shoot terrible, but I didn't shoot great.
Yeah.
And so having those back-to-back shoots, so I'm gonna try to get some more winter shoots in, spread them out a little bit more, pick some great summer shoots. Wisconsin was the first time this year. I do really enjoy that, but I do like going to South Dakota, shooting with my buddies there.
Are you going back to Wisconsin, or are you going to South Dakota?
I don't know yet. I really did like Wisconsin. Great shoot, great targets, just a great atmosphere. Campgrounds are phenomenal. It's a good time up there. But I think my main goal for next year is to try to get my Grand Slam. I'd like to complete that, and if still make the team, and we'll see how the Grand goes. Shoot some good scores down at the Grand.
All right, Trap Talk listeners, let's take a couple seconds and thank a couple more sponsors. First of all, Remington's been with us since day one. I've been shooting these shells since 2007. I shoot the Nitro 27 from the 27-yard line, ounce and eighth, 7.5, and STS ounce and eighth, eighths for singles and doubles. They've worked great for me, as they do a lot of top shooters all around the country. Give them a try. Don't forget the Gun Club line when you're practicing and you're wanting to save a little bit of money.
We'd also like to thank another sponsor, Outlaw Engineering. Randy Freston, R2. I've known Randy since 1988. They do engineering, surveying, drafting, GIS, civil, structural, land development, wetland permitting. They do it all.
And they're friends of trap shooters. I mean, they're a trap shooting family. They've been in the ATA forever. His dad's been involved. They're involved. They're a beautiful family. They're great people. And we just love that they listen to the show, and we love that they support Trap Talk.
Yeah, his dad was past president in 1989. So I really want to thank those guys for the support. I really appreciate it here at Trap Talk.
With that being said,
let's get back to the show.
I think
it's important to have fun. I mean, once you kind of check a goal off your list, sometimes it's hard to say, okay, I'm going to stack even bigger goals on. I mean, sometimes just enjoying what you just did and just saying, hey, I'm going to change the game plan a little bit and go have some fun again. Because, I mean, this was a long, long time ago for me, but, one of my biggest goals that I achieved was when I got the junior captain. And that next year to think about trying to do it again, I wasn't ready mentally for that. I was just like, you know what? I want to back off a little bit because I felt a little burnt out. And I think a lot of people don't talk about the burnout, but to push yourself at that level, there's definitely going to be some burnout. And, to be as good as you guys are, and then to say, okay, let's just do it again, or let's just, match it again every year. I don't know if that's a reasonable expectation all the time. I think it could happen, but I mean, this might go down as one of your best, most phenomenal performances in your life, and you might do better many other times, but you got to give some respect to what you just did.
Oh, absolutely.
And I agree with you on the burnout deal. There was a shoot or two, or maybe a day or two at a shoot where I did not feel like I wanted to be there. It was more so if I have to be here to get the points or get targets in or do whatever. And it was more so because of last year. It was, okay, I made the team. I was third on the team last year. Let's see if I can make that or better this year. I was in contention for rings last year. Let's see if I can do that again this year, which means you have to go to these shoots. You have to get targets under your belt. You need to shoot well.
I'd be ready.
Yeah. And there definitely was some shoots that you're like, well, I'm here because I have to be, almost. You don't necessarily have to be, but it's that was the mentality. It's like, okay, you need to change your
Well,
mentality.
based on your goals, right? Based on your
Sure.
goals, this is what I have to do to have a chance to do these things. You know, if you
Well,
didn't want to have an opportunity to make the top 5 in the men's team, you could cut a lot of those shoots out. If you
Well,
don't
here's
want
the
to have
deal.
an opportunity to shoot for the ring, you
Yeah.
might not come in as sharp and as focused.
You got to look at one thing is, I mean, the All-American team. If you're trying to make the All-American team, you're trying to make the first team, you have to go to Ohio, Illinois, PA, Wisconsin, Iowa, Missouri. You've got to go to the top, the most.
Some combination of the 5s and 6s and 7, the bigger
Well,
shoots.
But then you got to go to like the Spring Grand, the Autumn Grand. You want to go to like the Southern Grand, the Southwest Grand, the
Heartland, duh.
Well, no, absolutely. The Heartland,
Yeah.
Nevada State shoot. Some of these that throw these extra events in there for the points. And some of them, when you do that, I mean, this year will be my 34th year on the All-American team. And it's like, okay, I want to try to go, like you were saying, some different shoots. And I'm planning to do that. There's some, we'll talk about this later on another episode, possibly.
Yeah, a non-Ryan Glow episode. We'll do a Ricky update episode.
No. I'm just talking about other shoots where to go to some different shoots that other clubs would like to see some top shooters come and shoot and be a part of their shoot. And I think, honestly, that's some stuff that we ought to look at doing as a squad. Get 5 of us, go to some of these shoots, have a good time. Is it going to...
We're going to pillage some Lewis's in Hawaii.
No, I've been to Hawaii, and Steve Smith was the only one that played the money, and he kept it. He wanted to give it back.
Hey, Trop Talk listeners, let's take a quick second to thank a couple more amazing sponsors. SOS Clay's Shoot Management. They're doing a fantastic job. I love the app. I love being able to see everything on my phone instantaneously. It's freaking awesome. Rick, what do you think?
Yeah, Greg Pink and his group over there. I mean, they've got majority of the satellite grands, majority of the state shoots. I think it's 40 plus state shoots they're doing. But the app, honestly, we were doing a little beta testing with that at the Spring Grand. It's awesome. You can see your squad if they paid. You can see your options, your payouts. The whole works at your fingertips. Great deal. They're just
Ricky
killing
knew how
it
much
over
money he made before he even got off the line. He was like, hey, I'm buying lunch. I'm like, yeah, good job. We're good to go.
there. That's
We
right.
also got gun and trophy insurance. I mean, they're the best in the business. I know they're great price. Ricky, you're familiar with them, right?
Yeah, Cole and Larry Cushman been long-time supporters of myself, and I've been a supporter of them, and especially with my college team. We require insurance. It's so fast and easy to sign up and get your insurance in literally 10 minutes. You can have your guns insured, and they're just great. They're great to deal with. Like I said, you can do your trophies also, your wildlife animals and that such, and your guns. It's just a great
It's
product.
always good when you're
Great
traveling
product.
around to have that peace of mind and know that you don't have to worry about losing your stuff forever. And these are expensive things, especially when you got those Craig offs. You got to keep them insured. So,
Oh, exactly.
with that being said,
let's get back to the show. But Ryan, looking at what you accomplished, I mean, we shot, several shoots this summer together, and, you shot well. I think, if you change your squad up a little bit at the Grand, you might shoot a little better. Jack might hold you down a little bit, but, we love you,
Yeah.
Jack. It's okay.
he's filler material at best.
Yeah.
He didn't bring my pickles this year. That's what
And that's
killed
coming
us.
directly
Oh,
from
hey, he was
from
supposed to
original.
bring- Hey, hold on. He was supposed to bring pickles to the Heartland Grant, and he never did.
We didn't get no pickles.
2024
We
pickles
didn't get no
for the
pickles. He's filler material at best, and that's coming from the original filler material himself. So you got to know that I know what I'm looking at when I see it.
Oh, we love him, but man, we give him hell at the Grand for not bringing pickles.
He needs to have a cat lick that mustache off his face.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh man.
And you shot awesome this year. I'm proud of you. Like I told you, you finished good, even though you missed. I mean, listen, it's like I was told a long time ago by one of our last, people on the show, Britt Robinson. You missed the first one, the last one, the middle. It's all the same.
It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter, because here's the thing, Ryan. You could have went into the last trap and you could have took a 21 again, right?
Yep.
You know, yeah, that 23 wasn't your best, but 22, and there you're shooting off with Dagan. 21, and you're not even in the deal, and you're not on the ring episode, right? So, like, you didn't know at the time that it took that target to break it, but you continued to fight and you continued to work at it. And I think that's the important takeaway for the listeners is you never know when you're out of it. And if you assume that you're out of it and you quit fighting, you're going to be a lot more disappointed when you get back to the clubhouse and you realize that you were still in it. Some of the worst scores I've ever shot in my heart were when I gave up because I thought I was out of it. And then I come back to the clubhouse and I lost it by 1 bird. And I thought I was going to lose it by 2 or 3 or 4 birds. And I'm like, I missed those extra 2 or 3 birds because I was literally upset that I gave it up. And, didn't give it up until after the fact.
You always got to keep your mental state in check. And especially where you were sitting, 397 is a hell of an all-around score. No matter where you're at, no matter what shoot is, no matter the conditions or not. And yeah, you could have easily missed that 99th, been all pissed off, crunched your shell, threw it, done this, and then missed the last one. And then you're tied, and then you'd have really been pissed.
All right, folks, let's take a quick second and thank some brand new incoming sponsors of the show. These are personal friends of mine, fellow clay shooters, and lovers of the outdoors, Rick and Carla Burke at 73 Pointers Ranch. Rick, tell them what we're doing.
Well, we're doing a giveaway at the Grand American. So they've graciously donated a one-person hunt for, I think it's, 18 quail or 12 chucker or 8 pheasants. Your choice, guide and dog. We've got dinner, overnight, lodging, breakfast. So, yeah, I think it's going to be a great giveaway.
It's a great thing. It's valued at like $1,500. You can obviously bring a guest if you'd like, but, it's about an hour out of St. Louis Airport. And if you're lucky, maybe me and Rick will go out there with you and do some bird hunting because this is an awesome place. It's a great time. And if you're local to this area, it's not that far out of the city. So you can be in the office and then be hunting in the afternoon. So they're great, great people, and they love this show. So we really, really appreciate the love and support.
Yeah, we'd like to thank Rick and Carla. We really appreciate that.
Also, we've got Mid-State Precious Metals, Ron Prescott. He's a great guy for all your gold and silver needs. Ricky, tell them about our friend.
Yeah, Ron, he graciously donated a 10-ounce silver bar to our live in-person podcast in Tucson. And, he has everything. I bought a bunch of silver from him. We got our silver and gold for the fun day at the Nevada State Shoot on Monday this year. John got all the silver and gold for the Nevada State Shoot. So look him up for your silver and gold needs. He'll give you the best price out there.
He really is, and he's a friend of the trap shooters. I mean, he's looking to get gold and silver to these gun clubs for their shoots at the lowest price across the country. He's doing them a service and helping grow the sport. So, thank you so much for that, Ron.
Yeah, thank you, Ron. We appreciate it.
With that being said,
let's get to the show.
Go ahead,
do you think the Super Full helped you on that last shot with the French, or do you think we should have opened up a little?
The full check.
I didn't shoot the Super Full.
Huh.
So this was my first time in Vernal this year, and I struggled out there.
Ryan's favorite shoot.
I loved the shoot. It was my first time out there this year. I shot great day one. I was very thrilled.
He shot lights out. He goes, "This is gonna be easy."
I show up, break. What's he throw? Doubles handicap, and I went 199.94. I was like, okay. Everybody says it's hard to get off the hill. I was like, these are nice targets. And then from there, I just struggled. And I was having gun fit issues, or what I thought. I thought I was camping the gun, doing this, doing that. Go shoot the pattern board, and choke was awfully tight. Tighter than what I remember it being.
High altitude.
Correct. Finally, Saturday, after this first 100 in the singles, I think I broke a 96 or 7. Rick told me, he goes, hey, altitude, your pattern's not opening up like you think it is. Well, it made sense because when I had shot that pattern board, I said that looked a little odd. So I put the full choke in, and again, I'm not a guy to sit there and switch chokes. I certainly thought about it the way I was shooting handicaps this year. I'm like, well, shoot, I'm in the low to mid 90s pretty regularly this year. Maybe I should go back to it, but I left it in. But yeah, like you said, you were talking about that last target.
I think that's something, we were kind of finishing up, but now we've got into another topic. But altitude matters. I mean, if you're at a high altitude place, your pattern's not opening up, and you're shooting a really, really tight choke like that, I mean, you need to be cognizant of it. But also on the flip side, I don't think shooting that super full all that time hurt you based on the way you're shooting. I mean, it taught you something. Maybe it's time to go to the full now, but that education that you had, Ryan, I mean, you were boiling targets and you shot it for so long and so well. I don't know how many targets you were missing in the Midwest at Sparta or anywhere where there's a little bit of density because of it. I mean, there could be an argument there, but I mean, you were shooting pretty damn good all across the country.
Yeah, that's like I said, that was my first time out west. Tucson, I'd shot down there, but I'm not so sure that you don't get it's not the same because it's a little lower elevation. I mean, you're still,
it's elevation.
It's sea level. You're at sea level at Tucson. You're not at a high elevation like you were
up in Vernal. So yeah, like I said, that would be my first time out there. And to be honest with you, I thought about switching back to it halfway through the Grand because of I'm breaking 93s, 94s all week, and I'm like, what the heck?
You're just too many holes in your pattern. That's why they were getting through. You just had to tighten it up. You know that.
Like I kept telling myself, you've broken good scores with that full at other shoots. I shot it in Ohio. I had a couple 8s in Ohio. Had some 7s in some other shoots. So I said, it's not the choke, it's not the gun. It's not. But me, I always have to keep telling myself.
Not the arrow, it's the Indian. That's what they used to say, right?
Yep.
That's right.
And I always have to remind myself that.
Yeah, I mean, I know that you're always expecting to break all the targets, Ryan, but every once in a while when they slide by, it's just you. It's not the gun, not the shells, not the choke. Just, hey, Ryan messed up.
Yeah, like I told you. That's when you got mad at me. My little comment to you. Because I was told a long time ago by a top shooter, he said, you ain't good enough to be mad. And I go, what? And he goes, just remember that. So Ryan was all mad. He threw a shell. He was all pissy. And I said, hey, you ain't good enough to be mad. He was like,
see, Rick's really good at bringing everybody back down to where they need to be. Welcome back, Trap Talk listeners. I'm your host, Zach Danini, here with my co-host, Richard Marshall Jr. We just got done with the Heartland Grand, and we got a very special announcement about the Nevada State Shoot. It was 76, the big deal.
October 19th to the 27th. But on the 21st, Trap Talk is doing a big event. 50 singles, 50 doubles, combined score. It's $100 to get in. Shoot as many times as you want for a score out of 100. First place, a 1-ounce gold bar. Second place, 25 ounces of silver. So get signed up, folks.
I need that gold and silver. I might have to fly in for a one-dayer.
Zach won't show up, folks.
I'll shoot it 16 times. I could have just bought the gold. That's okay. You got to get that 100.
Listen, they're doing all kinds of events, dinners, drinks, poker tournament.
Go gamble on the strip.
Yeah,
little
there's
buffet.
All sorts of things.
Seafood, the Rio. Not so much.
20 years ago.
There you go.
Yeah, we can go to Aria.
Listen, get signed up. It's on pre-squad. Come out October 19th to the 27th. We'll see you there.
See you soon.
Good luck. I will tell you this about Ryan, and I've seen Ryan shoot a long time, just like I've seen you shoot a long time, Zach. And Ryan would win a lot more if he could control his mindset just a little bit more. And that just, and no, I mean, I'll be 50 here in 8 days, but you guys, Zach, what are you, 34 now?
33.
33, and Glow, how old are you?
30.
30.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but you get that is, and I get it. Trust me, when I was that age, I'd get madder and heck, and such. The only difference was my dad was standing back there and he'd still hit me in the head with a barrel.
I think that's just experience though, Rick. I mean, looking at it from where I'm at and I mean where Ryan's at, I mean, on the younger end of the sport, okay, fundamentally strong, you get that point and you get some reflexes which are really, good, and eyes, that's really good. But
yeah,
if you haven't been there and done it and been there and done it and been there and done it years and years and years and years, there's still a part of the game for the younger guys that they're like, okay, you get frustrated. You obviously start getting in your head and thinking about, well, I could win this and I can win that, or I could do this or I could do that, or you want the rings or you want the accolades or you want the points, right? So I think there's a shift, and that's why when you look at the captain of the All-American team, other than this year with Dagan, most of the time it's people that are in their, mid 40s, early 50s kind of zone, because I think they've been shooting their whole life and they have the experience, that.
Yeah.
And
I absolutely agree. But you look at and I think just like and go and we'll talk about you, Zach, with the Heartland Grand. You're trying to move up on the first team, so you were. You're giving it all. Now, if you'd had a few stumbles there, I know Justin and Bullard wouldn't let you live it down, but you didn't. We did have a few here and there, but the difference is, and that's similar with Ryan, you guys want it so bad that sometimes that gets in the way of the performance. And that's what I try to tell everybody.
I think it can get in the way. I think, obviously,
it does get in the way. Absolutely.
I know for sure it does. I had several experiences this year where it's, you're chasing points. You know what scores you have to break to get points. So it's
absolutely
correct.
It ain't like the old ways where you had just win the trophy, getting the shoot off. It didn't matter if you broke a 95 or now it's you break one of the top 3 scores, you get points. So It's kind of a different mindset where you can mentally screw yourself worrying about that versus just going out and hey, I'm just gonna go out and break these targets.
Correct. And you're trying too hard, or you're shooting scared. You're shooting the singles and you got a bad day and you're at a 98. I can't miss another one, otherwise I get 0 points.
You throw that event out. And if you throw too many of those little events out, it's hard to make it back up because you're trying to make these, big mega point shoots where you're getting at least 225 a shoot or more. Because you're not going to use a small one, obviously, right? So it's just different levels. There's a difference between making the team for the first time and then making the first team and then trying for that top 5. You've got to have a whole different mindset in each one of those scenarios. And honestly, we could do a show on just talking about the different shoot patterns, because if somebody's just trying to make the second team, I would pick a whole bunch of different shoots versus, I'm trying for captain. You can only make captain paved through a few very special shoots. You can't just go there by going to, Vermont State shoot and beating Aaron Pollock. That ain't going to work.
And shooting well at those select state shoots, so you have that extra pressure.
You not only shoot well, but you got to be at the places where it's going to count.
Correct. Yep. You have to shoot well against the other 6 guys that are trying to hunt the same position as you, and that are shooting just as well as you are on any given day. It throws a whole different variable into that mental game.
Yes.
So, Glow, is there anything else that you want to share with the listeners? Any other tips? We talked about the experience, talked about the year leading up into it. Is there anything else that you want to leave us with before we get out of here?
I think, like we talked about, just have fun with it, and don't get yourself burnt out. If you don't want to go to a shoot, don't go to a shoot. I love the Heartland. I shot it last year for the first time. Great place to shoot. But to be honest with you, I stayed home this year. Was not mad about it. It was kind of nice just to relax and not have to worry about going to a shoot, not have to worry about that kind of stuff. So being able to have fun with it, because once it quits becoming fun, then it becomes a job, and nobody wants that. This is supposed to be fun for everybody. So that's my biggest takeaway from this year. It's just, and all the younger guys that are shooting, just have fun with it. You don't need to go to 15 different shoots. Unless that's what you want to do and you don't get burnt out from it, do it. But if you're getting burnt out, step away for a week or 2.
Reset down a little bit.
Reset. Go fishing. Go do whatever. Go on a vacation.
Yep.
It makes a big difference. That's now next year, Glow. Are you gonna be able to? You're gonna be married. Is anything gonna change? Or Jordan cracking.
Not to my knowledge.
Hey, where's the boss? Is she home?
She's out running today, but
Oh, yeah.
maybe after we sign the actual legal papers, maybe she might change the rules. She's waiting. But yeah, as of now,
Put the smack down. Whack.
yeah, and it'll be right
Hey.
before Missouri, so we'll find out.
Hey, if you get a real nice gift from Jack, that's why he's
It'll be a
trying
case
to
of
butter up
pickles.
at home.
Well, Ryan, we appreciate you sharing all your insight. We're so proud of you. Congratulations on your ring win. I
Thank
think the next milestone for you is going to be when you get your Grand Slam. You get that Grand Slam, and we'll have you back on the show one more time. I mean, I could really care less if you win another ring. You gotta get a Grand Slam. So we'll be waiting for that. And until then, we will see you soon. And we'll probably see you at the next shoot. So
Sounds
Right.
good, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Hope. Appreciate it.
And the Trap Talk podcast is brought to you in part by
RM Shooting Clinics. Have Ricky take your game to the next level. If you want to shoot hundreds, give Ricky a call today. Zach Nannini Financial. We believe in putting people first.